Today is Friday, April 18th. What we know about a deadly shooting at a university and the suspect's connection to law enforcement. Also, the latest in the fight over a man deported to El Salvador by mistake, as he was seen publicly for the first time since being detained. Plus, a severe storm threat that stretches across a dozen states this Easter weekend, a ruling that could reshape Google's power over the internet, and the man who took a tragedy and turned it into a force for good across all 50 states. Those stories and even more news to know coming up. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Well, sadly, we start today with news of another school shooting, this one on the campus of Florida State University. 2 people were killed and at least 6 others had to be rushed to the hospital with injuries. Officers confronted the gunman, but they say he didn't listen to their commands, so he was shot. He's now in the hospital but is expected to survive. The suspect is a 20-year-old college student who's also the son of a sheriff's deputy, and authorities say he was able to access one of her weapons to use in the shooting. So far, it's not clear what the shooter's motives might have been, but the president of a college political club says the suspect was kicked out for spouting white supremacist views. Officers say he acted alone. All classes and school events are canceled today. A U.S. senator had a much-anticipated meeting with the man who was deported and sent to a Salvadoran supermax prison in error. Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen posted photos of his meeting with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He didn't say much about what was actually discussed or how the man is doing, but Van Hollen said more information would come out when he gets back to the U.S. The Salvadoran president also posted photos of the meeting and said, quote, "Now that he's been confirmed healthy, he gets the honor of staying in El Salvador's custody." As we've told you, the Trump administration accuses Abrego Garcia of being a member of a violent gang, and a White House spokesperson called Van Hollen's visit disgusting, accusing Democrats of being more concerned about terrorists than law-abiding Americans. On the other side, Abrego Garcia's wife celebrated the news of the senator's meeting with her husband and said her prayers have been answered. As part of the Trump administration publicly building a case against Abrego Garcia, it cited a restraining order his wife filed against him 4 years ago, in which she said he punched and scratched her. But she still defends her husband. She put out a statement this week saying she took out the protective order after surviving domestic violence in a previous relationship and acted out of caution, but they've since worked through their problems. She's also still insists her husband was never in a gang. But the Trump administration is still resisting court orders to bring him back to the U.S. In fact, an appeals court would not lift the order that tells the White House to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return. In the opinion, a prominent conservative judge criticized the government, accusing the Trump administration of stashing away residents of this country in foreign prisons without the semblance of due process. That's just the latest in a series of court orders against Trump's team in this case. But for now, the Justice Department is still fighting it. The White House is now threatening to keep Harvard from enrolling international students at all unless the school hands over detailed records about the student body. And that could be a big deal for Harvard, where about a quarter of its roughly 25,000 students are foreign. This is just the latest escalation after Harvard refused President Trump's recent demands to change its hiring and admissions practices, as well as its curriculum. Remember, the Trump administration already froze $2.2 billion in grants, along with a $60 million contract. President Trump has also threatened Harvard's tax-exempt status. All this comes as more than 1,000 international students across the U.S. have had their visas revoked in recent weeks. Several of them have filed lawsuits arguing the government doesn't have justification to cancel their visas or end their legal statuses. Some university leaders say they worry all the drama will discourage new foreign applicants, compromising America's position as the global leader in higher education. But as of this morning, no comment from the Trump administration on those suits. Despite all the economic fears surrounding tariffs, President Trump says trade deals are coming. In fact, the president said he was 100% confident the U.S. would make a deal with the European Union before his 90-day pause on some tariffs ends. Italy's prime minister also voiced optimism about securing a deal during her White House visit yesterday. Trump even said he expected to make a trade deal with China, which faces the steepest tariffs, though it's not clear if any progress had been made on those negotiations. Earlier this week, Japan's delegation met with Trump's team about trade, but left the White House without a deal. The Trump administration says negotiations are ongoing with dozens of countries now. More news still ahead, but first, thanks to our sponsor, ZocDoc. If you're taking time out of your busy schedule to see a doctor, you want that doctor to know what they're talking about and make you feel seen and heard. If that's not what you're getting, it might be time to find someone new. And thanks to ZocDoc, your search just got easier. Whether you want to find some relief from allergy season right now, or deal with a new issue, or just get a checkup, ZocDoc can help. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. ZocDoc has doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. Plus, appointments made with ZocDoc happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/newsworthy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. Now back to the news. The boom in diabetes and weight loss medications could become even bigger soon. The drug maker Eli Lilly says in a late-phase trial, its new experimental pill worked to lower weight and blood sugar in diabetes patients. In fact, it says the pill worked just as well, if not better, than the popular injectable drug Ozempic. It did have many of the same side effects, mostly stomach problems like nausea, but nothing permanent. And now the company expects the pill to be approved by the end of this year. Eli Lilly is just one of many companies working to develop weight loss pills to compete with injectables. Manufacturing pills is simpler than injections, and there aren't as many supply constraints. So this could mean wider access to weight loss drugs coming soon. For the second time in just a few months, Google lost a major antitrust case. The first time, it was over search, and the penalty phase in that case actually starts on Monday, when Google could be pressed to sell its Chrome web browser. Separately, yesterday, Google lost its monopoly case over advertising. The judge sided with the U.S. Justice Department, saying Google illegally exploited some of its online marketing tech to stifle competition and boost profits. And the DOJ wants Google to have to sell parts of its ad tech business, too, which it's built over the course of many years through multi-billion-dollar acquisitions. The penalty phase in this one is expected to begin late this year. That said, the battle will likely continue for several more years as Google tries to overturn both recent monopoly decisions in appeals. Google insists it competes fairly and that the DOJ has an outdated view of the market. In the advertising case specifically, the tech giant also says if it's forced to break itself up, it will only make it more expensive to buy advertising. And by the way, other monopoly cases are still pending against Amazon, Apple, and Meta, so stay tuned. Drake has expanded his defamation lawsuit against his own record label, claiming the Super Bowl halftime show was orchestrated to assassinate his character. Drake mentioned how his rival Kendrick Lamar performed the diss track Not Like Us, introducing it to millions of people who had never heard of it before. And with that, he says more people have been tricked into believing he is a pedophile, which has led to more threats against him and his family. The lawsuit also mentions how parts of the song were played at the Grammy Awards, and it blames Universal Music Group for helping make all of it happen. Remember, Drake is suing the label, but not Lamar, for damages, saying the company published and promoted Not Like Us. Well, in a motion to dismiss the lawsuit, the label claims Drake is just trying to mend his wounds from losing a rap battle that he provoked and willingly participated in. Another lawsuit we want to mention centers around a viral TikTok dance. It's the dance set to the tune of Charli XCX's hit song, Apple. It took off so much so that even Charli XCX herself and other celebrities were seen doing the choreography. Well, then the online gaming platform Roblox started selling the dance moves as an emote, which is basically a victory dance. And now the person who actually came up with it is suing Roblox for using it without her permission. The online gaming platform insists it did nothing wrong, so this is another one that will be playing out in court. Today, millions of Americans are at risk of severe weather across 1,200 miles from northern Texas to northern Michigan. This storm system brings the potential for large hail, damaging winds, and even some tornadoes. Cities in the path of this one today include Oklahoma City, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Chicago, and Detroit. Then tomorrow, the biggest risk area runs from southern Texas to southern Missouri. Flooding will become a bigger risk then, too, especially for areas from northeastern Texas up into Kansas and Missouri that get hit 2 or 3 days in a row. The National Weather Center says it's possible the unsettled weather could continue beyond the weekend, too. Today kicks off an important weekend for Christians all over the world. Today is Good Friday, which is usually observed as a day of sorrow and atonement. Then Easter comes this Sunday, a time for celebration, church services, and processions. And of course, it can be a lot of fun for kids with baskets full of candy, egg hunts, and visits from the Easter Bunny. Whether you celebrate or not, keep in mind these holidays do mean a lot of places will be closed. Today for Good Friday, that includes the U.S. stock market. Then on Easter Sunday, several national stores will be closed like Target, Costco, Macy's, and Sam's Club. But plenty more will stay open, like Walmart, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, 7-Eleven, and Starbucks. Well, that's it for the main news today, but now it's time for Feel Good Friday, when we bring you one extra feel good or positive news story before the weekend. But first, thanks to our sponsor, Honey Love. Well, now that spring is here, it's not only time to spring clean your closet, but it's also that time of year where you may have some weddings or special events or travel coming up. And I'm here to tell the ladies listening, do yourself a favor and stock your closet with Honey Love. Whether it's finding that just right bra for every day or getting shapewear that makes you feel great in a dress, Honey Love has it all. There's a reason our executive producer chose Honey Love shapewear on her wedding day above all the other brands she tried. And now I have the same in my closet too. Plus, you all know I'm all about their breathable, versatile leggings as well. My favorite leggings, hands down. Whether you're wearing Honey Love shapewear and bras or their leggings and loungewear, you'll love how they feel and function and look. Treat yourself to the most comfortable and innovative bras, shapewear, and leggings on earth and save 20% off site-wide at honeylove.com/newsworthy. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off, honeylove.com/newsworthy. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, so please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard in bras and more with Honey Love. Now back to Feel Good Friday. When Doug Rooch in Texas was told he had just a year to live at 55 years old due to stage 4 prostate cancer, he reflected on one of his biggest regrets, being too focused on himself. And so he decided to spend his last days volunteering in all 50 states. Since Rooch had already spent his life savings on cancer treatments, he started a GoFundMe and called his mission Dying to Serve. He packed up his Chevy Malibu, which he nicknamed the Flash, and hit the road in March. His goal? To help people in every corner of the country through community service. So far, he's worked at soup kitchens, food banks, and senior centers, places like Santa Fe, Phoenix, Seattle, and more. And although his body is weakening, he says giving back gives him purpose and energy. In his words, quote, "I don't want to be some pseudo-celebrity. I'm just a guy that needed to balance the scales and do some good in his life." Rooch is hoping to complete all 50 states by the fall, including flights to Hawaii and Alaska. He hopes his story encourages others to volunteer, even if it just is a few hours a month. If he does, he says, he can then die happy. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with our special edition Saturday episode. We're talking about feeling overwhelmed by all the news and what to do about it. Then join us again Monday for another Daily News Roundup. For now, thank you so much for listening and have a great weekend.